Next is the Capital Projects Reserve Fund. We established this fund many years ago to be the repository for dollars that we were going to spend on capital improvements or capital projects, and that we wanted to have that in a single place where we could identify it and go and account for it. This is generally improvements to county buildings and to account for the use of those dollars when they are put into use. So, the three-year trend within the Capital Projects Reserve, we've had contributions from the general fund and other sources. In the 16-17 year, totaling $11,281,000, with amounts expended out of this fund of $3.1 million approximately. Some of that is due to the fact that we plan projects within a single year, and they end up being two-year projects, and so we end up not getting into the meat of them until a second year, which is why the current year fiscal year budget is pretty close, $12,335,000 for both revenue and expenditures. The contribution, I believe, from the general fund was $2.525 million. And next year, we are looking for about $3 million to come from the general fund, which will fund projects totaling $2.5 million, and then we have $500,000, and Diane will remind me what the $500,000 is going to be used for.
Excuse me. The additional $500,000 is to replenish the reserve in capital projects. And the reason it got depleted is the project to build small sleeping pods for veterans was quite a bit above budget. And so this was the source of the additional funds. So
yeah, I think this committee initially allocated
contingency
$200,000 for that project. It ended up being more expensive. $300,000, I beg your pardon. My mistake. So that is going to be supported by an additional $3 million coming from the general fund. We generally budget transfers out of the general fund into this fund to handle the great number of projects that are requested but not funded yet. So here you see the ratio. Pretty much the revenues are fund balance, 41%, charges for services, 45%. The fund balance swells and diminishes based on the amount of projects that we actually complete or pay for in a particular fiscal year, and then that general fund support infusion. The vast majority of this is spent on capital projects. We charge no cost allocation to this particular fund. We have materials and services costs a little bit under 5%, I believe, and then reserves and contingency constitutes 13% in the budget that you see. Issues and trends. The budget is increasing because we have planned for a $9 million project to build a new extension service building. That's going to be, as I mentioned, at the corner of Warner Milne and Beaver Creek Road. That's going to free up a building that we've been using for the extension service well over 30 years, I believe. And that building will be put to another use while it's still a viable building. The $9 million is primarily going to be coming from resources piled up in our extension district function. People have been paying taxes into the extension district. We use a portion of those to transfer to our OSU Extension Service for their services during the year. The residual has been built up over the last few years to provide for a base amount to create this project. And right now, I think we're looking at about $5 to $6 million that will be put in abeyance until we build this building. General fund support provides $2.5 million toward new projects and $500,000, as was mentioned, toward replenishing the contingency, which was brought down a bit in this last fiscal year. And then we hold $2.2 million in this fund for deferred maintenance on county structures. Are there any questions for that?